So you probably heard about this from your contractor, your architect, builder, designer, or window dealership. Sierra Pacific Windows, specifically the H3 window by Sierra Pacific. And it's one of the most versatile windows out there on the market today. Fast growing company in popularity on the East Coast. They started out in the West and have worked their way over. So it may be one of those ones that you're not necessarily familiar with, but it's definitely one you have to check out. It's definitely one you have to get into the detail. And what's really exciting about it is the performance, the style, the availability to just play and make it your own. And today we're going to get all into the double hung by Sierra Pacific with the H3 series. You're going to want to check this out. Let's start on the inside. So we're talking about the interior. Now, the interior of their window is just clean and sleek. It's got nice views that complement a traditional home as well as a more modern home. And I say that because the stiles and rails on the window, right? Stiles go up and down, rails go left and right. The stiles and rails are all the same dimension going all the way around. Just adds a nice, clean look that works with the styles of today with a traditional double hung visual. Now, from start to finish, Sierra Pacific, from the seed all the way to delivery, is one company. It is completely a vertically integrated company. And the reason why I'm mentioning that right now is because we're talking about the interior. We're talking about a wood interior. Sierra Pacific is currently the largest landowner in the United States. It allows them to pivot in a way that other manufacturers can't. It allows them to provide a high quality product at a very fair price point because it is all in one house. Being the largest landowner in the United States, Sierra Pacific can offer amazing wood species. Now, 9 different species of wood are available on a Sierra Pacific H3 product. There's 10 different pre-finished paint interiors by Sherwin-Williams. There's 3 different stain options, all of which are food grade preservatives that are put in there, and food grade paints, food grade stains. Now, why is that important? It's important because off-gassing is an issue in homes. If you're smelling those materials, it's because those molecules are in the air. And when you think about those materials in a home, well, some of them aren't really the best for you. That's really where they champion their products. Is it comes down to how it's being taken care of, and it's thought about regarding the end user. Because they're a vertically integrated company, because they go from seed all the way to the finished product, there's a ton of involvement, not just from forestry, but they literally have biologists on staff. And there's a ton of involvement from the very beginning all the way to the end to ensure that the product you're getting in your home nails it. Now, the interior, there's a lot of different hardware choices. You can show it off with something like this, matte black hardware featured on alder with a clear coat. Really just cool option there when you get into those alternate species. Or you could do a pre-finished white and have it just white hardware and kind of blend away. What's really great is the locks are metal, they're not plastic. Usually it's 2 locks per window. It's just going to tilt in. It's got that constant force balance, and there's little tilt latches right here that just allow you to tilt it in with ease. The real benefit, I think, to this, because they do these stiles and rails all the same dimension, there's just a little lift right there at the check rail, so it's just clean and sleek and done. Really a beautiful window. Clean options. I think one of the real wins from the interior when you talk about the H3 is that the jam carrier is a wood jam carrier. A lot of companies that are out there will do a compression jam carrier, so you'd have this vinyl here and it would push in order to make that window tilt. Not the cleanest option out there, but with all that being said, that beautiful wood interior view, beautiful stiles and rails, that center check rail lift that's on there, I think it really just offers a clean view, a clean approach that is kind of a breath of fresh air in the market when you see a lot of the window manufacturers out there have a lot of parts and pieces that are visible. Sierra really nails that interior view, and they really create a beautiful picture frame for your exterior living. Moving forward, we talked about the interior. Let's get into the exterior and talk about what really matters and what sets the H3 double hung apart on the outside. So we talked about what's on the inside, and what's on the inside counts, but what about the exterior? What about that view when you pull up to that new house or that remodeled house and you have this beautiful new Sierra Pacific H3 double hung? What's it gonna look like from the outside? And this is an example of it here. Now they have a couple different versions of the H3 double hung. They have that for a new construction home where it incorporates a nailing fin, and that nailing fin is integrated directly into the framing of the window. We're gonna get in depth on that soon. But they also have two different types of replacement style windows. They have their full frame replacement, and then they have a pocket replacement that's going to fit in a standard jam pocket for a replacement style window. This one, for example, is the pocket window, and they're showing the trim detail on it here. But for discussion's sake, that's pretty much the difference between the two, is the way the framing and nailing fin is in place. Other than that, all the same options are available in the H3 double hung. So new construction, replacement, or replacement as a pocket are all available with the H3 double hung by Sierra Pacific. Again, those clean stiles and rails, the same dimension all the way around. They have this nice, just beveled edge on the sash. I think that's just a clean, sleek approach, where others are gonna have glazing beads, either on the inside or the outside to hold that glass in. The way Sierra assembles their units, it's all encapsulated. You're not seeing lines, you're not seeing glazing beads. It's just clean, sleek, and done. If you look at the colors here, there are a wide array of colors, textures, matte finishes, blended options. There's a ton to choose from. And I think it's really great when you think there's 50 colors to choose from on the outside. With that paint finish, it's not just a paint finish that's gonna look good now, it's gonna look good for years to come. You could do an AMA 2604 paint finish, or you can upgrade to a 2605. 2605, a 30-year paint finish on that window. Now, that is a powder-coated paint finish with 100% fluoropolymer flakes in it. Exceeds probably most windows out there on the market. The fact that it's powder coat makes it a much better finish than a liquid coat, allows them to also incorporate textures and design, and it really just will stand the test of time. So 50 colors to play and choose with. AMA 2605 options available, which offer a 30-year warranty on that paint finish. But it's not just that, it's the SDL bars, simulated divided light, or grills in the glass. Whatever you choose, whatever works budget-wise or look-wise, you can really play with this. Like, this is a putty, but you can do traditional, you can do contemporary, you can mix and match the inside and the outside, and you can mix and match the width of those bars, whether it's putty or traditional or contemporary. There's a lot that you can do to personalize it, and it all kind of falls in a similar price point. So it's a way to really make that house shine, that when you pull up, it is yours and it's personalized to you. It's not what everyone else has down the street. You want the house that's gonna be the one that people say, wow, did you see that? Or that when they drive by, they go, I always check out your house. You'll get that when you play with color. You'll get that when you play with SDL bars and the profiles and the textures that are available. There's a lot of opportunity to play. With that, they have glazings that will work for most regions, if not all regions in the United States. It just depends on what you need to do. They do a true warm edge spacer technology in between the glass, so there's no metal in between the glass. It just creates a nice, clean, black shadow line that is just gorgeous. It just draws your eye out or draws your eye in, depending on where you're standing. Their exterior of the H3 double hung uses a flex screen. The flex screen is just gonna sit right inside that channel here, and it just allows that clean, sleek, beautiful view that is really gonna just capture that window. This is furniture. This is artwork that goes on a house. It's not just a window. And I'm a little bit of a geek when it comes to windows, but with that, it doesn't have to be boring. Windows don't have to be boring. Windows can define the look of a house, and a Sierra Pacific H3 is a cost-effective, high-performing, beautiful way to do that. So we've talked about the outside and kind of what makes the H3 double hung special, but let's get into the nitty-gritty details. Let's check out a section detail so we can see how it's made. So the H3 double hung, why is it called H3? You can see why it's called H3 right here. stands for Hybrid 3. Extruded aluminum clad sash and frame on the exterior, wood interior, and then a multi-chambered vinyl framing system behind the scenes that gives you added performance, cuts the cost of the window, but doesn't lose anything when it comes to the design and style. Full wood view to the inside, full aluminum clad to the outside, super rigid product behind the scenes to allow this window to perform and look beautiful and save you money. It's a great mid-grade window. Fabulous option if someone's looking at that mid-grade product out there. Really a great window to look at and consider for purchasing for a new construction home or a remodel, depending on what you're doing. So we talked about that exterior, the gauge of the extruded aluminum. You can see how thick it is right here. The wood interior, again, 9 species to choose from, 10 different paint options, 3 different stain options, really the ability to play. And when we talk about that wood, we want to talk about the species, yes, but we want to talk about what goes all the way to the core of this window. And that's a big part of what's important about a Sierra Pacific product. They use Core Guard Plus. What does that mean for you? Core Guard Plus is a trademarked process that Sierra Pacific uses that most window manufacturers can't do. They all have preservatives and fungicides and insecticides that they put treatment on their products, but Sierra Pacific does an organic, zero VOC, water-based solution that actually is impregnated all the way to the core of the wood. It's not just put in a bath, it's actually used to go all the way to the core. It's almost like an osmosis process that's used to go all the way to the center of that wood. Now, why does that matter? Why is that important versus just a dip that goes through? Well, 1, it's organic. 2, there's zero VOC. 3, it's a water-based product. So it's safe for your house, it's safe for the environment, and that's something because they are vertically integrated. They are from seed to delivery. That's important. The environment matters, and that's really something that shines when it comes to that. That Core Guard technology going all the way to the core of the wood is going to ensure that it's stable over time. It's going to keep the wood the way it's supposed to be. It's not going to warp or check or move. It's going to stay exactly how it's supposed to be. And no rot coming from that. Because it has that preservative in there, it's protecting it from decay and it's protecting it from the insects that can be troublesome when it comes to a wood product. So none of those are issues when it's coming to that, but you are still getting the benefit of a beautiful wood interior, the lack of maintenance that's required with a 30-year finish warranty on the exterior, and the rigidity and energy performance of this multi-chambered mainframe with an incorporated nailing fin if it's new construction. How rigid that is, how important that is to have a solid window to be installed that's going to last, that's going to look good, and that's going to perform for years to come. Really important. Now, we talked about this nailing fin. An extruded nailing fin that's part of the mainframe, really important. When you think about, this is what's holding that window in the opening. It should be strong, it should be durable, and this nails it on how rigid that is and the thickness of that extrusion that's on there. With that, we talked about how there's a couple other options. There's a replacement option available with the H3 double hung, and it's pretty much this window here. If you were to take the nailing fin off, that would be their replacement style. But as things progressed, they kind of meet the demands of what's out there. If you have an old wood double hung window, right? This is double hung, lifts up and down. If you have an old wood double hung window, you usually have about 3¼ to 3½ inches in the pocket of the window where that would sit as a replacement style window, which is why they came up with the Pocket H3 double hung. You can see here, that's gonna fit in a typical old wood window jam pocket, and it's just gonna add a clean, simple look to your window as a way to have a replacement style window rather than a full frame replacement. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, whether you have a remodel or you have a new construction, to have a Sierra Pacific H3 double hung work for you. Now, with this, you can see how it's assembled here. You can see there's no glazing bead on the inside or the outside. Everything is simply just clipped together on the H3, which is what holds it in place. Now, on that, it's clean, it's sleek, it's really a beautiful looking window with those beveled edges on the inside and the outside, no lines, no clips, and that's what it all comes down to. When you look at aluminum clad windows that are out there, or vinyl windows or composite windows that are out there, what are the mechanics of it and how do they appear? That wood jam liner on the inside, you're not seeing anything other than a shadow line with the main frame behind the scenes. There's no large, thick compression liner. The outside of the window, 50 colors to choose from. It's gonna look the same on the jam carrier here. A lot of the companies will offer a lot of colors. However, there's a jam carrier on there, and the jam carrier may be white or beige or gray, and it's gonna be that color no matter what. Kind of unsightly if you have a white interior and a black exterior, and then a white liner on the side here, you know, has that skunk look to it, not so hot. I mean, it is what it is. Everyone has the way that they make things, but that's a huge benefit to their product, that the outside is one color, the inside is one color. A real big win with that. The true warm edge spacer technology allows that window to be extremely energy efficient. You can see the energy ratings listed right here, and where you are in the country really is going to vary, but they have a wide range. If we're talking New Jersey, Energy Star ratings, there's north and north central depending on where you are, but low E272 with argon or low E366 with argon should get you where you need to be if you're in New Jersey. It's really just a beautiful window. It's clean and sleek, and it's really a cool thing to look at the section because it shows the masterful engineering that comes into play to create a Sierra Pacific H3 product. Now, if you're thinking about a Sierra Pacific project, if you're wondering, is this window right for me? We probably can help you, and I'd encourage you to contact us at info@mammothmillwork. Let us know what questions you have, let us know how we can help, and let's take a look at your project and see if this will be a win for you. I appreciate you watching the video. Until next time, we'll see you around.